Hello children, welcome to biology class. Today we are starting a new unit, that is unit 4, human physiology. This unit includes chapters from chapter 17 to chapter 22. Chapter 16 was deleted by CBSE. So chapter 17 is breathing and exchange of gases, then body fluids and circulation, then excretory products and their elimination, locomotion and movement, neural control, then chemical coordination and integration. Today let's start with chapter 17, breathing and exchange of gases. So let's start with the topic respiratory organ. Before that, these are the topics from this lesson as per the revised syllabus. So the first topic is respiratory organs. We can start with the respiratory organs of lower invertebrates like sponges, cylindrids, flatworm, etc. The exchange of oxygen with carbon dioxide by simple diffusion over their entire body surface. Then earthworms and all earthworms use their moist cuticle, that means outer cover. Then insects have a network of tubes. See children, you can see here structure spiracles. Network of tubes, tracheal tubes to transport atmospheric air within the body. Then special vascularized structures called gills are used by the most of the aquatic arthropods and mollusks, whereas the vascularized bags called lungs are used by terrestrial forms for exchange of gases. Isn't it? In the case of vertebrates, fishes use gills, reptiles, birds, mammals respire through lungs. Amphibians like frogs can respire through their moist skin also. Then mammals have a well-developed respiratory system, isn't it? This is just an introductory part, children, in this lesson. Not only in this lesson, the entire unit consists of human physiology. Okay, so let's discuss about the human respiratory system that we have discussed already in class 10. You have studied about the respiratory structure, even though I will explain. You know that we have a pair of external nostrils opening out above the upper lips, and it leads to nasal chamber through the nasal passage. Then the nasal chamber open into pharynx. We know that pharynx, a portion of which is common passage for food and air, isn't it? Then the pharynx open to the larynx, the larynx region into the trachea. We know that about larynx we need to explain. Larynx is a cartilaginous box which helps in sound production and hence called the sound box. Okay, you can expect a 1 mark questions related to larynx. Then about trachea. Trachea is a straight tube extending up to the mid-thoracic cavity which divides at the level of fifth thoracic vertebrae into right and left primary bronchi. You can see here. Then each bronchi undergo repeated division to form secondary and tertiary bronchi, then bronchioles. Then what happened? They ending up on very thin terminals. Okay, then the trachea, primary, secondary and tertiary bronchi and the initial bronchioles are supported by incomplete cartilaginous rings. Each terminal bronchiole give rise to a number of very thin, irregular wall and vascularized bags known as alveoli. Okay, so the branching network of bronchi, bronchioles and alveoli comprise the lungs. So the lung consists of the network of bronchi, bronchioles and this alveoli. Then the branching network of bronchi, bronchioles and alveoli comprise that we have discussed already, children. Then we have two lungs which are covered by a double membranous pleura. Okay, and pleural membrane and fluid is filled inside it, that is pleural fluid. It reduces the friction on surface, lung surface. The outer pleural membrane is in close contact with the thoracic lining, whereas the inner pleural membrane is in contact with the lung surface. Then the part starting with the external nostrils up to the terminal bronchiole constitute conducting parts, whereas the alveoli and their ducts form the respiratory or exchange part of the respiratory system. So the conducting part transports the atmospheric air to alveoli, clears it from the foreign particle, humidifies and also bring the air to the body temperature. So the exchange part is a site of actual diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide between blood and atmosphere. So if the question is asked to write respiration involves which all steps you have to write? Breathing or pulmonary ventilation by which atmospheric air is drawn in and carbon dioxide rich alveolar air is released out. That is the first step, isn't it, children? Then diffusion of gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide across alveolar membrane. That is the second one. Then what is third step? Transport of gases by the blood. Then diffusion of carbon dioxide and oxygen between blood and tissues. Then what happens? What is the final step? Utilization of oxygen by the cells for catabolic reactions and resultant release of carbon dioxide. Isn't it, children? So this is the overall idea about the process. Now let's discuss the mechanism of breathing. You know, these diagrams are very much familiar to you. What is this? This is inspiration and this is expiration. So we know that breathing involves two stages, which are the inspiration, during which atmospheric air is drawn in, and expiration, by which the alveolar air is released out. So the movement of air into and out of the lung is carried out by creating a pressure gradient between the lungs and the atmosphere. So first let's discuss about inspiration. Inspiration can occur if the pressure within lungs is less than the atmospheric pressure, isn't it? So there is a negative pressure in the lungs with respect to atmospheric pressure. So similarly, what is expiration? You just tell with me. Expiration takes place when intrapulmonary pressure is higher than the atmospheric pressure. Then it's important to explain about the movement of diaphragm now. The diaphragm and specialized set of muscles, external and internal intercostals between the ribs, help in generation of such gradients. So inspiration is initiated by the contraction of diaphragm, which increases the volume of thoracic chamber in the anterior-posterior axis. The contraction of external intercostal muscles lift up the ribs and the sternum, causing an increase in the volume of thoracic chamber in the dorsoventral axis. So what happens? The overall increase in the thoracic volume causes a similar increase the pulmonary volume. So an increase in the pulmonary volume decrease the intrapulmonary pressure to less than the atmospheric pressure, which force the air outside to move into the lungs. So that is inspiration. See, ribs and sternum rise, rib cage also. Then what happens? The volume of thorax increase, the air move from outside to lungs. This is inspiration. And see, opposite condition is happening during expiration. So relaxation of diaphragm and intercostal muscles returns the diaphragm and sternum to the normal position and reduce the thoracic volume and thereby the pulmonary volume. So what happens? It leads to increase in intrapulmonary pressure slightly above the atmospheric pressure, causing the expulsion of air from the lungs. That is expiration. Clear, children? So we have the ability to increase the strength of inspiration and expiration with the help of additional muscles in the abdomen. In an average person, a healthy human breathes 12 to 16 times per minute. You check your respiration time, children. The volume of air involved in breathing movements can be estimated by using a spirometer, which helps in clinical assessment of pulmonary functions. Okay, children? And next topic in our textbook is respiratory volumes and capacities. So the first one is tidal volume. What is tidal volume? The volume of air inspired or expired during a normal respiration. So volume of a single breath, in short, volume of a single breath. It is in a healthy person, it is approximately 500 ml. That is, a healthy man can inspire or expire approximately 6,000 to 8,000 ml of air per minute. Clear? Then inspiratory reserve volume. Additional volume of air a person can inspire by a forcible inspiration. Its average 2,500 to 3,000 ml. Like that, expiratory reserve volume is the additional volume of air a person can expire by a forcible expiration, or in short, it is a volume which can expire beyond a restful expiration. It is about 1,000 to 1,100 ml. Then residual volume. Volume remaining in lungs after maximum expiration. It is about 1,100 to 1,200. Okay, children, first of all, you have to study the definitions and the concept of lung volumes. Then you have to study the capacities. Capacities are inspirational. I will show you the graph. Inspirational capacity. It is a total volume of air a person can inspire after normal expiration. That means total tidal volume plus inspiratory reserve volume, TV plus IRV. Okay, TV plus IRV. That is, here you can see it, inspiratory reserve volume. Then expiratory capacity. You observe the graph. Expiratory capacity, same as that of inspiratory capacity, is a total of tidal volume and expiratory reserve volume, TV plus ERV. Then next one, functional residual capacity. That is ERV plus RV. That means volume of air that will remain in the lungs after normal expiration. Okay. Then vital capacity. Vital capacity means the IRV plus TV plus ERV, the maximum volume of air a person can breathe after a forced expiration. And what will be total lung capacity? Total lung capacity, see this? The total volume of air accommodated in the lungs at the end of forced inspiration. This includes RV plus ERV, TV and IRV, or we can write vital capacity VC plus residual volume. Clear, children? So that is about respiratory volumes and capacities. Before studying the capacities, you have to study thoroughly the respiratory volume. Then it will be an easy task to study about lung capacities. Okay, children?